What if I told you the reason Java Edition's performance sucks isn't Mojang or Microsoft? It's Notch. Even though he left Mojang 11 years ago, he had sabotaged his own game forever. But we can't even blame him for it. In this video, I will cover how the game works under the hood and what's fundamentally wrong with it, along with why problem will never be fixed and how it may lead to the death of Java Edition. But not Minecraft. Before anything, we have to keep in mind that this game, specifically Java Edition, is old. 16 years to be exact. It's well into its adolescence, and like a typical teenager, it is filled with problems. Believe me, I would know. We will mainly talk about Minecraft Java Edition, for reasons you will understand throughout the video. Now Java Edition, as the name suggests, is written in Java programming language, which is the first immediate red flag, as Java is not a go-to language for game development. Additionally, it's not even built using a game engine, which is a software like Unity or Unreal Engine for example, that allows you to develop a game without worrying about the hard stuff like rendering, lighting and a dozen other. Instead, Notch built this version using pure Java. He seems to have this attitude to this day. As I quote in a recent tweet of his, if they can't make their own game engine, they're not programmers. It's like a chef who can only make frozen pizza. And like most of his tweets, this one too is controversial. Because although developing a game from scratch gives you full control over every aspect of its development, for example optimization, with great power comes great responsibility, aka complexity. Not using a game engine, dare I say, unnecessarily complicates the development, especially for a solo dev. And remember, Notch built Minecraft on his weekends. He wasn't planning for it to turn into what it is today. This resulted in the initial code being rather flimsy. And keep in mind, this code was responsible for the pillars that were holding the game together, or the entire custom-made game engine. And as Minecraft continues to grow, it will be very complicated to change these flimsy core mechanics. Remember that, it will be useful in a bit. Keeping that in mind, paired with over a decade worth of legacy code now, in 2025, it explores the complexity to the level of O of n factorial. If you know, you know. And I'm not even exaggerating. Mojang still refactors legacy code to this day, even something as trivial as using snake case in place of camel case. But rather than some silly formatting, this complexity becomes a real pain when the developers are debugging. Paired with Minecraft's infinite way by which multiple block or item can interact with each other, it makes it so developers have to account for every kind of edge case you can imagine, which ultimately becomes the reason for over 300,000 bugs with thousands still unfixed. That's a lot of bugs if you ask me. Things aren't looking too good here, because up to this point, we realized that Java Edition is built on a suboptimal language without a game engine and buried under years of legacy code. And you would think that every one of these points would contribute to Java Edition's terrible performance, right? No, the problem isn't the language or the fact that this version is too resource heavy. It barely utilizes your CPU at all, at least not the way you would expect. Unlike Bedrock Edition, Java Edition is what we call a single-threaded game. To explain what this means without me nerding over CPU architectures, imagine this. You got a massive iron farm and you want to convert the iron ingots to iron blocks for more efficient storage. Therefore, you have to use, let's say, 2 crafters. And because you have 8 identical iron farms, yes, you do, you have 16 total crafters. Now imagine the iron farms as cores of a CPU and the crafters as threads, with each core having 2 threads each. In a modern game, it would typically use all 16 threads to do math. Yes, you need math for a game to function, with each thread doing math in parallel. Take a guess how many threads Java Edition uses? 1. Java Edition uses 1 for its main game loop, consisting of functions like restaurant update, loading, unloading chunk data, mouse spawning, and way more. The other 15 threads, or crafters in this analogy, are still available to use. You have crafted them yourself, but all the iron is being fed to just one. And if you think that's inefficient, yeah, it is. As if we keep feeding the entire output of all 8 iron farms combined into a single crafter, well, maybe your system will literally explode. I hope. However, thankfully not all functions are run on the main game loop. For example, chunk generation and client-side rendering, along with a few more. But multithreading for these functions was probably implemented after Notch had left Mojang, when they realized that while divide and conquer is a core computer science principle for optimizing performance, Notch, being the rebel he is, built Minecraft on the opposite, a monolithic system that resists division. Which makes you wonder, Notch left Mojang slightly over a decade ago. So why in this time didn't Mojang multithread more of the game? I mean, it doesn't sound that complicated, right? It turns out converting a single-threaded game or program in general to a multi-threaded one is incredibly dumb. Because you not only have to bang your head on your keyboard trying to rewrite those pillars that we already established can be very complicated to mess with, but also deal with the exotic bugs you are guaranteed to face with. This would be such a bad decision that making a whole new version of the game, meaning rewriting the whole game from scratch in a programming language that actually meant for game development and compromising on Java Edition's update in the process, was a better idea for Mojang, with that version being the education. If you have made it this far into this video, now's the time I ask you to subscribe. These videos take a lot of time to make and I would really appreciate your subscription, with which I am getting ever so close to being a full-time content creator. And if you're feeling generous, share this video too. Thanks again. Now back onto Bedrock Edition was developed to be Minecraft, not just a version of it. Mojang literally renamed Java Edition to Minecraft Java Edition and Bedrock Edition to just Minecraft, meaning they're letting us know it's the main version of the game. And aptly so. Bedrock Edition is not only developed in C++, arguably the best language for game development, it was also made with multi-threading in mind from the start, which paired with a faster language means performance Java Edition can only dream of. And it is also something you call cross-platform compatible, meaning unlike Java Edition's PC supremacy, you can play Bedrock Edition from any device you want. Android, iOS, Windows, your smart fridge probably. The existence of Bedrock Edition means if Mojang has a good reason to stop development for Java Edition, they will gladly do so, for reasons I will explain in a moment. But if you are a Java Edition player, you should know that Mojang does have a very good reason against the version: the fact that single-threaded performance isn't improving fast enough. In the time period of 7 years, from 2013 to 2020, the single-threaded performance has jumped from somewhere around 1900 to 3800, exactly double. Multi-threaded performance sextupled from 8000 to 48,000, and this data is outdated. As I said, for 2020, I couldn't find a recent one, so I had to check manually, and it's as high as 69,000 in 2025. Ignoring the numbers, it roughly translates to multi-threading equals fast and single-threading exactly. You get the point. Hence, as Minecraft continues to get more complex, it isn't crazy to say that Mojang may pull the plug on Java Edition, leaving us with a microtransaction-filled buggy mess that is Bedrock Edition. But maybe not. Bedrock Edition's playbase is comparatively much larger, which isn't surprising knowing it's available on every major operating system. However, virtually every mod, texture pack, shader pack, and about 90% of all content for Minecraft is because of Java Edition. And being the original version of the game, it has a special place in every veteran's heart, as Bedrock Edition to them is just Java Edition but buggier with microtransactions and twice the saturation. Seriously, I don't understand why. It's like the colors are screaming at me. That said, the incentives for Mojang against Java Edition almost feel scripted. With Java Edition gone, Mojang doesn't have to worry about updating a whole other version, essentially doubling their update cycle. It also doesn't make any sense from a monetary standpoint. It's just a one-time payment, meaning if you bought it over 15 years ago, you still get free updates. Whereas Bedrock Edition, for the third time, is filled with microtransactions, which is way better for them. The situation is looking dire, isn't it? Well, let's look at the positive side, which was announced not so long ago. Whatever Mojang wants to call this feature, it's basically an official shader pack. Just look at those pixel perfect caustics. It's beautiful. But you may have noticed that I am on Bedrock Edition. Well, yeah, because this is only available here, not on Java Edition yet, and for great reasons. If you have played Minecraft using shaders, you would know they don't really have a stable relationship with your FPS. And thanks to Java Edition's already terrible performance, if Mojang just adds vibrant visuals without any optimization, your PC may actually explode this time. Because vibrant visuals will be an official shader, way more players will use it purely just because of the convenience, rather than every other third-party one. Hence, there are many boxes vibrant visuals has to check off before it can be added to Java Edition. First, it needs to feel vanilla. It's already way ahead in that department. I don't think any other shader will fit the game more than this. Second, it needs to look good. And again, it's gorgeous. Just look at the caustics. And finally, it needs to be optimized. The reason Mojang doesn't optimize the game is because of lack of incentive. An optimization heavy update will not encourage more people to buy the game. It's the content that does. However, in this situation, they are essentially forced to optimize for the sake of vibrant visuals. And optimizing a shader would require Mojang to rewrite a lot of rendering code. And while I don't think they will add more multithreading as I explained before, I do think it can work without it too because of these two, Sodium and Optifine. These two have proved that Java Edition can have a stable experience. They are even a go-to for many players. I don't even play the latest update unless Sodium is specifically available for that version too. These mods along with many others have proved that Java Edition can work without more multithreading too. And if they can do it, Mojang definitely can. And with vibrant visuals giving a good incentive for Mojang to do that, maybe we will see more of the game optimized. Hence, I conclude that Java Edition isn't dying anytime soon. I hope. That's not a conclusion, is it? When I use phrases like I hope,